first met Pamela, I was struck that here is a force of nature, a woman who has beauty, inner strength, conviction, and passion, and someone who could wave her finger at you, give you a scolding, and you still want to go up and give her a hug because she's such a great person.
There are so many wonderful stories about Pamela. I don't think there's any one thing that you could really have stand out. It's just the thousands of little things that make the big picture with Pamela.
I shudder to imagine what we would be dealing with as a community without Pamela's influence, without all of the investment of her time, her resources, her love, her compassion.
But along the way, she just developed a love for humanity that is incredible.
And I just think that she truly believes that there is good in everybody and that everybody deserves a chance, and that she is willing to do whatever she has to give people that chance.
Pamela used to come down to camp all the time to see if we needed it, If she was around in the corner, she'd be there for us. And she doesn't favor people. She helps out just anyone that needs to help. She could have 8 hands, she'd have 8 hands, or 10 hands. But that woman is a blessing to the world, especially here in Salt Lake City.
It is my distinct pleasure to be able to add my voice in tribute tonight to a truly remarkable woman, Pamela Atkinson. There is no greater advocate for affordable housing and homelessness in Utah and really in the country than Pamela Atkinson. She has spent decades in service to her fellow men and women, many of whom live on the streets and have had nowhere else to turn. It is as common to see Pamela serving someone in a homeless shelter as it is to see her working the halls of the Utah State Capitol. Pamela is a rare combination of savvy, political, and advocacy skills, as well as a genuine heart and a capacity to love people unconditionally. And while I have served in the United States Senate, I have had the opportunity on many occasions to work with Pamela on issues of great importance to Utah and its citizens. I've been continually touched by her compassion for people and their circumstances, and her unwavering desire to make a difference in their lives. She is doggedly determined and possesses utmost integrity and honor in her actions. When Pamela is on an issue, you had better listen. It is fitting to honor Pamela Atkinson with a Lifetime Achievement Award for her unwavering service to affordable housing and homelessness. I know that her work will not stop with this award, but will instead continue throughout the rest of her life. The service she renders every day will be felt for generations, and her goodness will never be forgotten. Congratulations to a truly remarkable woman who I love.
Hello, I'm Governor Gary Herbert. I'm honored to offer my congratulations to my good friend Pamela Atkinson for receiving the Jack Gallivan Legacy Award. I can't think of anyone more deserving. Throughout her 25 years of living in Utah, Pamela has made significant contributions to our state. Her work with the homeless and impoverished has rightfully earned her the title, the Mother Teresa of Utah. Pamela wears many hats. I often wonder if she's ever said no to anything. But that is what makes her so wonderful. She is always willing to help. She's a leader, a board member, an advocate, an elder in the Presbyterian Church, an advisor, a mother, a grandmother, and a friend. Pamela has the unique ability to not only recognize the needs of others, but to meet them. She can relate to any person in any circumstance. Everyone who comes in contact with Pamela Atkinson is better for it. Pamela, on behalf of the state of Utah, I thank you for your good work and continued efforts towards making our great state even greater. Congratulations.
Pamela, congratulations on being the recipient of the Jack Gallivan Legacy Award tonight. I can't think of two people I admire more than you and Jack Gallivan. Jack Gallivan taught everybody in the state of Utah about the need to build that strong and durable infrastructure. We're a much better state because of Jack. Pamela, you've taught us what it means to have a heart and a soul within our community, and we have been well served by your years and years of dedicated service. We wouldn't be the same without you, and I wouldn't have been the same governor without you. And all I want to do is thank you from the bottom of my heart. Whether I gave you budgets to review, whether I gave you human services issues to review, you always came back to me, not with the quantitative approach in terms of making the numbers work, but you always told us how it would affect real human beings and what impact it would have on our fellow citizens. And I was a better governor because of it, and I think our state was much better served because of your input and your dedication. So thank you, Pamela. Thank you for making all of us better people. Thank you for helping us all remember that each and every citizen in our community matters. Some don't have meals in front of them. Some don't have roofs over their heads. Some don't have traditional families to return to after school or after their activities. You're a constant reminder that we need to look out and care for all of our citizens. Thank you for being the person that you are. You are so very worthy of this honor and this great tribute that you're receiving tonight. And I'm so very, very delighted to be able to call you a great friend. Thank you so very much.
I think we all know this world would be a better place if there were more Pamela Atkinsons. Thank you, Pamela, for the amazing, extraordinary example you are to so many in this community, in this country, and in this world about reaching down and lifting others up. I will always think of you when I go past a homeless person and wonder what Pamela would do, because I know exactly what you would do. You would get out of your car and give that person some warm socks or ask them if they'd had something to eat. It doesn't matter what their background is, what their religion is, what party they're from. It doesn't matter, because it is about the human heart. Thank you, Pamela, for your amazing example and love to us and to so many out there who love you this night. Have a wonderful time, and congratulations.
And we were driving, and I had a very real moment with her where there was a crazy driver in front of us who wouldn't get going, and Pamela said, "Be brave." And I just thought, oh wow, this is how Pamela handles everything. She's always very composed and very together, and I think I would have been, yelling and saying, let's go, and just be brave. And so now when I drive, I think of Pamela as well, and I say, be brave to people.
There's a gentleman that lived on the river, Chuck, and he was diagnosed with liver cancer, and we got him convinced to go to 4th Street Clinic and then up to LDS Hospital. But prior to going into the clinic, Governor Leavitt, when he was in office, came out on the outreach van, and we introduced him, and they sat and talked for about 15 minutes. He was unintroduced as the governor. Chuck had no idea, and later on he saw in the paper that the governor is out visiting people in the camps. Well, back to the beginning of the story, Chuck was diagnosed with terminal cancer. There wasn't any need to operate on him. He was given a short period of time to live. Chuck's companion was this tiny little dog, and we went back to the camp, picked it up. Pamela put it in her jacket and snuck the dog into LDS Hospital. And Chuck's eyes just lit up. It was the best medicine for him. Later on, unbeknownst to the hospital staff, Chuck had been bragging about meeting the governor, and everyone's going, yeah, get the psych team down here. This guy's a little delusional. Well, in comes Governor Leavitt. Pamela had gone over to the governor's office and said, your friend that you met on the river is close to dying. Would you mind stopping by to see him? And he walks in with his security. All the doctors and nurses are standing at attention. And who is this homeless guy? And that kept him going for about a couple more months until he finally passed away. But yeah, that's the level. That's the level of caring. Yeah.
I first met Pamela Atkinson 23 years ago when I was cooking at the St. Vincent de Paul Center. And she was the Vice President of Mission Services at Intermountain Healthcare and had brought down a group of senior administration members from IHC, and she had them washing dishes, scrubbing pots and pans, and helping to prepare the noon meal that day during the holiday season. And it struck me, or Pamela really stood out as a leader among leaders. She has a certain demeanor, a certain way of carrying herself, a certain importance to how she handles even minute tasks that communicates non-verbally the importance with which she takes her work and her commitment to those whom we've pledged to serve.
Pamela is probably the most influential, unpaid advocate out there. I mean, I think she certainly was able to open doors because I think that our legislators know that Pamela is truly so connected with our homeless friends, as she calls them, that she's down at the shelter here. She's over across the street at Catholic Community Services Dining Hall serving meals. She's out meeting people who are living outside. So when she speaks to people in power, they know that she knows what she's talking about.
When I first met Pamela, I was a case manager at the Road Home. It was Traveler's Aid at that time, so many years ago. And she taught me to go the extra mile, to look for all options to serve people, to break down barriers, to help people move out of homelessness. And if you couldn't figure it out, don't stop there, and then call Pamela. So I would call Pamela. That's when I first met her, in service to families who were homeless. And she's just taught me to keep trying, don't stop until you get the issue resolved. Pamela has a unique ability to really stay educated on so many issues so that she knows which policies are going to make sense for the people that are less fortunate in our community. And she can rally people and help support bills that need to be passed or not, so that people in the community that have the least resources will be cared for and protected.
She sets the bar on giving back to the community. She always will point you to an area of need. She'll collaborate better than anybody I know. She will bring resources to a table like no one I have seen has her special touch about bringing different resources and collaborating to make a project go.
She's been that leader that our community needs. She's been that spark that kind of pulls together all the people that are working around homelessness, all the people that want to help, whether they're donors, volunteers, agencies. She's been that spark that just always has her finger on the pulse, knows what's going on at all the different agencies, is always forward thinking about what we should be doing in our community, what should be our next project. And she's just been that person that everybody knows and can kind of lead the next project.
Well, you know, as I think about Pamela, I think of a saint, I think of an angel, I think of a very smart and accomplished business person, but I think of a person who has a great heart, one who feels with those who are suffering, one who wants to reach out and help raise up those who are in need. And I think of the poem by Frost, The Death of the Hired Hand, where they talk about this hired hand that's dying and that he has nothing to look back on with pride and nothing to look forward to with hope. And I think the work that Pamela's doing gives people pride in what they've done and hope for what they can do going forward.
I mean, I've been on drugs, I've been on alcohol, and I used to point the fingers at everybody else, my faults, my problems. I used to sit back and blame, the road home because I didn't got the things what I wanted. But basically, when you sit down and think about it, you can't point the finger at nobody. You got to point the finger at yourself, because nobody put a gun to my head. I mean, you got to change for yourself. Now, I'm pretty happy over there. I got my own place, 2-bedroom apartment. I mean, my life is going pretty good. It can completely change around.
I think she understands poverty in a way that if you didn't grow up in poverty, you might not get it. And because of that, because of the fact that she had to put cereal boxes, cut them up and put them in the bottoms of her shoes as a child, I think she understands the needs and has a deep compassion for people who live in poverty and suffer the consequences related to it.
That same year, 2007, at the Homeless Summit, Pamela had asked me to speak there and tell my story, and then after I did that, Pamela gave a speech. And it was her speech there that helped me to turn my life around. Because she made comments like, you know, that homeless people have hopes and dreams and desires just like everybody else, and that given the opportunity, most people will take advantage of it and try and turn their lives around and become better people. And ever since, you know, hearing that speech, it gave me a lot of self-confidence. It inspired me to get involved with the resident board at Sunrise, and then again at Kelly Benson. It inspired me to make the trips to Washington to talk to the senators, to try to squeeze a little extra money out of their wallets. You know, just knowing her has made such a difference in my life that I can't even begin to describe how much of a difference it's made.
And I think she wants to see each person reach their God-given potential. And so she's out there working to achieve that. One thing I do know, she's not in this work to gain attention for herself. She's not into it to get awards and recognition like she's getting tonight. She's doing it because she feels deeply in her heart that these people that she's working with are her friends, and they deserve better than what they have.
The way she'd come into camp and greet the people and ask us what we needed. She'd have socks, she'd have underwear if she had it, she'd have shoes, even if they were too big for you, we'd wear it, you know. And she'd had candy bars or whatever, but she'd always make her rounds downtown, you know, to help out the homeless people in the winter especially. You know, she just, it was a blessing to see her when you needed something.
Thank you very much.
Pamela, I wish we could clone you, but I know it's not possible. You're one in a million. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Love you.
I'm so pleased she's getting this award, and she truly deserves it. She's just such a leader in our community.
Congratulations, Pamela, for receiving the Jack Gallivan Legacy Award. You so richly deserve it.
Pamela, I think you're an angel, a saint, just the most incredible woman, and I want to say congratulations to you for this wonderful honor.
Pamela, I'm very excited for you, and I think this is a well-deserved award, and I'm very glad that I got to be a part of congratulating you today.
Pamela, you're absolutely amazing. What a great example for all of us in this community.
I love Pamela. The community loves Pamela. We are a better place because she's here in our midst, and I'm grateful for that.
That I love her. And I hope she's around for a few more years to help out. Because I ain't the only one that needs help here.